secular bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word, the truth, and in sincerity, the hopeful elect, Tabernacle of David. The Aqua that are listening and learning being a pillar of rest, the 144,000 and 1/3, the hopeful elect of Israel. All right, so this lesson, right, is about what? Not this, okay, but this, integrity, and more specifically, spiritual integrity. So right now I'm incensed as hell, okay, dealing with the mother of my child. In the hood, they call it your baby mama. And she's just a real piece of shit with zero integrity, all right? And what I have to do, I'm in the middle right now of teaching my daughter that the value of doing what you say you're gonna do, okay? You have to do, when you say you're gonna do something, all right, you can't back out of it at the last minute, okay? You can't do that. Because if that's who you are as a person, not only are you double-minded, you're a piece of shit. And you don't want people, you don't want that reputation. You don't want people, oh yeah, nah, I don't want her in this circle. She's a piece of shit. Right? So you, in your child, what you have to do, you gotta build that character. Right? So she tried to weasel out of something that she was doing with my wife, and I'm like, no. And then the reasons behind it, it was pretty complete. It was a complete set of circumstances. So I had a lot to work with, and it was a teaching moment. So, as a father, you go in and, you teach, especially if the Spirit of the Lord is on you and you're striving for righteousness and all of that. It's, it's already there. So anyway, with your daughter, whole different thing. So we're going to get into integrity. We might as well, and I'm going to keep this as short as possible because this is really is for me, right? Because in order, you never get there, but you're always working towards it, right? Integrity is something that's very important for everybody. And I know that I have to work on my integrity. Part of my daily prayer is for more spiritual, an increase in spiritual integrity, as well as spiritual discernment, right? And as you get older in life, right? I remember when I was 30 and I was full of shit, okay? And I remember saying to myself, I came up with this little thing that in the next 5 years, right, at the age of 30, I'm like, in the next 5 years, I want to be seen as a 35-year-old. So you start at the age of 30, start working on the things, throwing things out. I don't need this. I need this. I don't need that. You start working on yourself so that when people see you, oh, there go that nigga who ain't worth shit. But it takes years. 30 years of being full of shit, it takes many, many years to correct that. So you got to get started. If you're striving for integrity, we're going to read it. But you have to work extra hard, right, to overcome being full of shit. Okay? Now, 30 years later, right, you're still working at it, but you done made a lot of inroads. You made a lot of progress. All right? So integrity is very important. Character is very, very important, especially in a man of the Lord. All right, so anyway, dealing with my daughter. So let's look at the word integrity. Let's go here because this looks like, okay, integrity, noun, honesty. So apparently these are synonymous, meaning basically the same thing. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles that you refuse to change. That's a man of the Lord. Okay, now, do you just join the camp one day and the next day you're here because you know the scriptures? La-ah. No. Okay? It takes years, right, of hard work to correct being full of shit. And I know because, I've been working at it for, years and years and years, and it's an ongoing process. It's a never-ending task, if you will. You have to be working at this nonstop all the time. Let's see. No one doubted that the president was a man of the highest integrity, someone's artistic, professional, etc. Integrity proven. Okay, let's look at this real quick. Cambridge. See if it says the same thing. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles that you refuse to change. We'll go with that. Okay? We'll go with that. All right. So, being double-minded, right, has nothing to do with integrity. All right. And this is what I'm telling my daughter. Look, you can't say that you're going to go and do this with my wife, right? You got plans. Everybody rearranged their schedules to make this happen. And then at the last minute, you say, well, you're not going to go at all. I'm like, we have to have a talk. We got to sit down and talk, right? We got to have a father-daughter talk right now so we can work on your character, right? And instill some integrity, right? So that you get to this part. This is the part right here. Slovakia. That you refuse to change. Being honest and having strong moral principles that you refuse to change. Okay? You got to maintain that integrity. And then we'll insert the word spiritual. All right? Now, you go to the Bible, right? Bible Hub. Type in integrity. Huh. What comes up? Let's see. Let's see what comes up. Psalm 41 and 12. And I'm going in the spirit. And as for me, thou upholdest me in mine integrity, right? And settest me before thy face forever. And as for me, thou upholdest me in mine integrity. What is that? Quality of being honest, right? And having strong moral principles that you refuse to change, right? That goes hand in hand with being a man of the Lord, striving for righteousness, right? It's hard. It's easy to be a piece of shit, but to be a righteous man of the Lord and having spiritual integrity, it's not easy. This is something that you work very hard at. Sometimes you come up short and then you get back in there and you get it right. And you keep working on it. It's something that you, it's a summit, right? That you never really reach, but you're always working at it. All right? So go back. All right, let's go to the next one. Let me see, where was that? Still got it. Integrity now. Let's get it up here. I-N-T-E-G. Integrity. Let's go to the next one. We're just looking. Woo! There's that word, righteousness. Proverbs 13 and 6. Righteousness keepeth him that is upright in the way. Okay? But wickedness overthroweth the sinner. All right? NIV. Righteousness guards the person of integrity. Those two things go together, righteousness and integrity. But wickedness overthrows the sinner, right? If you're full of shit, right? You're going to be prone to wickedness, right? If you're double-minded, right? You're unstable in all your ways. You're going to try to see what you can get away with. You're going to not be balanced. A false balance is a abomination. I'm like, look, you can't do this to your stepmother when she does everything for you. The one thing that you could do is go on this trip you said you were going to go. You can't cancel at the last minute, right? That's bad integrity. Now you expect her to continue doing everything that she does for you? No, that's going to change. As you change and you go the wayward way, right? Those things are going to dry up. No, you need balance, right? You need to be a person of your word, right? Those things are very important to righteousness, okay? And the Most High is watching, all right? Where's that word, integrity? Righteousness guards the men of integrity. Give me that word again. Is that it on that one? People of integrity. Let's see. Him that is upright, Yahshua. Just throwing that in. Righteousness will keep him who is perfect, right? Spiritual integrity is striving for perfection, if you will. All right? Okay. Keep going. Integrity. Integrity. A word that will not be revoked before me let's see. Let's look at this. Isaiah 45:23. I have sworn by myself, the word is gone out of my mouth in righteousness and shall not return, that unto me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. Where's the word at? By myself I have sworn, my mouth has uttered in all integrity. Is that righteousness? Gone out in righteousness and integrity. So these words, integrity and righteousness, if you have a problem understanding what the word integrity means, it's synonymous with righteousness. I have spoken the truth. So this word integrity, right? Well, I got 15 years in the truth, right? Yeah, but what about your spiritual integrity? These words are synonymous. Righteousness, truth, integrity. Okay? Righteousness. Let's see. Truth has gone out of my mouth. Those are pretty much the words. Righteousness. Promises not breaking your promises. I have made a solemn promise, one that won't be broken. That's called integrity. You do what you say you're going to do. A man of your word, a person of your word. Okay? You got to strive for that. You don't want somebody saying you're double-minded or wishy-washy or you're not balanced, you're not even. If somebody's going out of their way to provide things, right? You know you can call on that person. You have to reciprocate. You got to be that way in a balanced fashion to the person that is doing that for you. You got to hold on. You got to safeguard that. Otherwise, it'll be gone, and you find yourself alone. I have bound myself with an oath, right? A word has gone out from my righteous mouth that will not be. This is how, and that's called being godly. The Most High's word does not go out void. He's a man of his word. Okay? And we could do this all day. You know what it is. It's just, are you going to man the fuck up and do it? See, as you get older and wiser, right, you don't want to be a lying piece of shit little boy no more. Okay? You want to stand for something. You want to stand for truth and righteousness, which deals with integrity. All right, so we'll get a couple of more here and I'll close. INT. I'm incensed right now. This is probably about no integrity. Isaiah 59:4. None calleth for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity, they speak lies, they conceive mischief, and bring forth iniquity. No one calls for justice, no one pleads a case with integrity. Right? This is 2/3, and our enemies. Right? They rely on empty arguments, they utter lies. You don't want this to be you. They conceive trouble and give birth to evil. This is a nigga right here. Okay? You don't want to be no nigga. All right? There's no place for niggas in the truth. There's just not. And at this point, guess what? As the Most High reveals all things, whatever was hidden is coming to the light, and you're a nigga, well, niggas are being revealed right now. So strive for integrity, right? Strive for truth, strive for righteousness. Maintain your spiritual integrity. All right? Don't be this guy, right? Don't be the guy that don't call for justice or plead for truth. No, you hold a nigga to his word. Be a man of your word and then hold everybody around you to their word. You make them be. You have to make people be fair and balanced. And if they're not, then you leave them alone. You go the other way. Don't subject yourself to that. Okay? They trust in confusion and speak lies. Why do they trust in confusion? If they could keep you off balance and keep you, confused, right? Then they can get away with whatever they want to. And that's a nigga. Don't be a nigga. This is about spiritual intimacy. Nothing. Spiritual integrity. All right. Well, you already know what it is, right? In order to have integrity, you got to have spiritual integrity. All right. So anyway, and what is the spirit? The spirit are the words I speak unto you. So that's keeping the word, being a doer of the word is spiritual integrity, is it not? Right? Doer. Let's get that. Doer of the word and not hearers only. This is integrity. Okay? This is James 1:22. But be ye doers of the words and not hearers only, deceiving your own self. Look at that deception. If you're not a doer of the word, you're a devil. Right? You're being a devil. What does the word devil mean? It means deceiver. You could deceive your own. You could be unprofitable to yourself. Right? So you have to do this thing. You have to do. You have to have integrity. You have to exercise integrity. You have to exercise righteousness. What do you mean? Exercise, execute. You have to do it. Okay? Not just claim to be righteous. You got to be righteous. Right? And it's not easy. It's easier to be a piece of shit. right? And I'm like this, look, we don't do that. Okay, on your mom's side, they do that, right? But here, no. If my dad would have had this talk with me, right? He didn't have this talk with me. I had to figure it out, right? But at some point, I did. I figured it out, right? Oh, you have to change that behavior because you know people are running around saying foul shit about you. How do you change it? And it's hard. Once you develop that reputation for being a piece of shit, right? People want to hold that on. They don't want you to change for the better, right? So you have to strive really hard, and you got to be consistent, right? You got to be long suffering. You got to maintain righteousness, right? Through the it's a long road, and when you understand, oh, I'll be fighting this fight for the rest of my life. Yep. And then to other people, as you're still fighting to other people, you're like, oh, he's a stand-up guy, right? But you're still fighting like you got the rest of your life. It'll take the rest of my life for me to get there. Yep. Never quit. All right. Be a doer of the word and not hearer only. Let me see. Is that all in there? Prove yourself. Prove yourselves doers, actively and continually obeying the Most High's precepts. That's integrity. And not merely listeners who hear the word but fail to internalize its meaning. See, you can know all the precepts, right? And then turn around and then tongue lash somebody. Oh, you don't know the precept. You don't know the precept. And neither do you. You think you do. But unless you get this part, right? You're just a listener, but you don't really what? No. You don't really understand. You're acting like you understand. But you're showing that you don't get it at all because you're saying one thing and you're doing something completely different. And people see that. Okay, you're deluding yourself by unsound reasoning contrary to the truth. Don't do that. Okay? Obey the Most High's message. Don't fool yourself by just listening to it. No, you got to do it. You got to make a stand. Okay? So, anyway, I just wanted to go into that. Integrity is important, right? Character is important. And this is what, as a father, you teach your children. You make sure, like, you're going off your character. You're gonna wind up with a bad character if you don't change that. You gotta do what you say, right? And when you're teaching that to your child, guess what? Guess what you got to do? You got to be a master of it. You can't, be double-minded. You can't be a hypocrite. No. When you're teaching something, you got to be doing it. You can't go out and teach the scriptures, but you're not doing it. Character. Character. Def Jam. Mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. It doesn't say good or bad. You can have a bad character. All right? Mental and moral qualities. Okay, distinctive to an individual. So your character, you want your character to be solid. You don't want to be known as a bug out, as a unstable. You don't want to be known. You don't want those things to come up, right? When your name comes up. So what do? You strive for perfection, right? So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. I hope that uh, anyone, hopefully the elect that heard this were edified with that. We're going to say shalom.